something really interesting is happening right now, right under our noses. It's everywhere you look, and depending on where you live, maybe you've already noticed.
I am talking about the tidal wave of Chinese vehicles flooding Australia, Southeast Asia, Europe, UK, Latin America, Russia, Africa, look, you name it, right? Everywhere. You know, 10 years ago, if you told somebody that you were gonna go and buy a Chinese car, you would have been laughed out of the room. And honestly, rightfully so. Chinese cars have always been a bit awkward, a bit weird, but more importantly, their tech, their performance, their reliability, it's always left quite a bit to be desired. But that's changing, and it's changing really fast.
But wait, I hear you say, if Chinese cars have always been such an effective method of inoculating you against the possibility of getting laid, why are people suddenly running out and buying them like the one-child policy was just abolished? Well, I'm glad you asked.
The way that free markets are supposed to work is that you've got a whole bunch of competing companies all trying to produce the best, most compelling product for you to spend your hard-earned money on. This means better stuff for less money as they all compete with each other, right? The problem is that over time, small companies go out of business, brand loyalties develop, choices become fewer, and then eventually prices start to rise, and then the expectations around what you can and should reasonably get for your money starts to shrink. What's this got to do with Chinese cars? Well, did you know that right now in China, there are nearly 150 competing car companies, all of them like eager to gain market share internationally, and all of them willing to do just about whatever they can to win you over.
Brands like BYD, GWM, Geely, Chery, and Zeekr are popping up everywhere you look. And here in Australia, they are starting to become almost as common on the roads as the likes of Hyundai and Mitsubishi, who only just beat out GWM for 6th place in overall sales last year. And honestly, it's not hard to see why.
This is the GWM Tank 300 diesel. In fact, this is my GWM Tank 300, and I bought one because of what this car represents. And that is a chance for the average person to own a truly capable adventure off-roading vehicle for, in some cases, tens of thousands of dollars less than what you would pay from any one of the major leading manufacturers for the same specs, features, but most importantly, off-road potential that this has.
And while all of that stuff is obviously really important, what is kind of more important is that you gotta sit in it. So, what's that like? Well, I'm gonna tell you about it, starting with the back seat.
And at the lofty height of 184 centimeters, or just a hair over 6 foot, I am very comfortable back here. I got leg room for days, I got headroom for days, I got cup holders, I got a grab handle, I got windows that go down all the way. It's a nice place to be. Speak about living in the lap of luxury. Up the front we have heated and ventilated front seats. The driver even gets a massage function. The passenger gets a grab handle and an oh shit bar. We've got this aeroplane-inspired gear selector, which is very nice. I really like it. We've got a wireless phone charger. Don't use it. It doesn't work. It just makes your phone hot. But that's most cars these days, isn't it? Anyway, we've got these Mercedes-inspired air vents, which they look great. They feel great. I'm not mad about it, even if it is theft. We've got a couple of cup holders. We've got a little sliding thing here. We've got a bin down there to keep drinks and everything, and it's even got a vent in it that keeps them cool, which is very nice. It actually works really well on long journeys. All the other stuff you would come to expect. We've got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, both wired and wireless. It's underneath the dash here, so it doesn't get sun in the middle of the day, which is really nice. Soft touch materials everywhere. We've got a glasses holder, all the stuff you would normally expect. Oh, and this. Hey, Clanker Tanker, open the sunroof.
Well, alright, but a lot of that you can find in almost any modern car these days that's worth more than budget bin prices. So, what about the specs?
Beneath this Chinese beast lurks a proper ladder frame chassis construction. We've got a solid rear axle, independent front suspension, we've got a part-time four-wheel drive, 9-speed automatic transmission, front and rear locking differentials. Under the bonnet, there is a 2.4 litre turbo diesel cranking out 135 kilowatts, 480 newton meters, and it's rated to tow up to 3 metric tons. Honestly, this has been a great engine. There hasn't been a hill that I've pointed it towards that it hasn't eaten up without breaking a sweat. In terms of its fuel economy, on the highway, I'm averaging somewhere between 8 and 9 litres per 100, which works out to be about about 900 kilometers out of a full tank. Not bad for a car shaped like a brick. So, what's it like to drive? Well, I would describe the ride quality as firm. Sometimes uncomfortably so. That being said, the minute you load down the back with a swag, a camping fridge, camping supplies, enough food and whatever to get away from the weekend, it's a very different story. It suddenly becomes very compliant, very controlled, very smooth. It's very nice. Around town and on the tarmac, I would describe it as perfectly adequate. It's fine, right? There's a certain amount of body roll that is inherent in a car the size of this one, but that's physics. What are you gonna do? You can't change physics. And look, it's a diesel, right? It's not gonna win you any drag races. But to be honest, that's not what this car is for. This is what it's for. I cannot explain to you how much fun it is when you're on a dirt road and you're in 4 high and suddenly this car suctions to the road. And you feel it, you know, oh, okay, that's what they intended for you to do. Not to drive around the streets, not to be a mall crawler, for this, for forests, for mountains, for beaches. This is where this car belongs, and it does an incredible job. If driving on sand dunes and down forest trails and up over gnarly hills doesn't appeal to you, this isn't the car for you. Don't buy one. There are way better ways you can spend your money than this.
And it was about this time that I heard a terrifying sound coming from beneath the floorboards.
Oh, it's a stick. Oh. Thought the wheel had come off. Not in this car.
Anyway, with that embarrassing diversion behind us, it's worth pointing out that what you're seeing in this video is the lightest and most entry-level off-roading imaginable, simply because this is my daily driver and I can't afford to just go accidentally snapping a CV anytime soon, but it's a shockingly capable off-roader. For example, one of these in completely stock form, other than simply putting some all-terrain tyres on it, made it to the top of the infamous Beer O'Clock Hill, and the new plug-in hybrid did it in highway terrain tyres, which is absolutely bananas.
Box stock standard! Box stock standard, holy smokes!
That is insane.
Now, it comes in 4 main drivetrains. You've got the petrol, you've got the mild hybrid, you've got this one, the 2.4 litre turbo diesel, and then you've got the recently released plug-in hybrid. Now, in the current fuel crisis economy moment that we're living in at the moment, the plug-in hybrid is obviously going to make a lot of sense for a lot of people. And I haven't driven one yet, so take this with a grain of salt. But if you are using this car for what it was really made to do, which is go off-road, I believe that this still makes a lot of sense. And it's for a very good reason.
And that reason is range. I'm talking about how far you can drive the car out into the middle of nowhere before you're going to have to fuel up again. And the last time I checked, diesel is still the king.
Australia has always had a thriving and very passionate off-roading culture, which has historically always been dominated by Toyota Land Cruisers and Nissan Patrols. And while those two titans have earned their place at the top, don't get me wrong, the price that they are charging nowadays for solid off-road capability is very quickly falling outside of the range of most people's budgets. For example, in Australia right now, if you want to buy a Toyota Land Cruiser Prado, right? Like a Prado, not even a 300 series with a single locking differential in it, you are spending $100,000. 6 figures, right? Whereas this retails for $51,990, comes with front and rear locking diffs, and unlike the Prado, it doesn't have AdBlue. And don't get me wrong, I love Toyota. It's my favorite brand of car, right? Like, it's my dream to one day go out and buy an old 80 series Land Cruiser and swap a 1HD FTE into it, and then sink another $150,000 worth of mods, because that's what you do, right? And probably do the same with an MR2. I'm honestly not trying to take a crap on Toyota, but they are the biggest car company in the world. They do set trends, and the prices that they are charging nowadays is really starting to feel like a stretch.
So I guess that's it, right? This thing can save your failing marriage, bring meaning to your miserable life, and make you irresistible to the gender of your choice, right? Well, no.
This brings me on to my first of 3 main criticisms that I have with this car. Number 1, this car should have come from the factory with all-terrain tires on it. It's really annoying that in order to use this car for its intended purpose, you have to immediately go out and replace the tires. It seems short-sighted to me. Number 2, the transmission is frankly not great. Like, it's fine, right? It's an auto, it does what an auto is supposed to do. You barely notice it once you're up and moving. The problem is that from a standstill, it's incredibly inconsistent. Sometimes I'll put my foot down and I'll be slammed back in the seats. Other times I'll put my foot down and I will be waiting whole seconds for it to make up its mind and start moving. And the problem is that in traffic, if you need to pull out into a gap, you want to know that when you put your foot down, the car's going to move. Now, some owners on the ownership groups have mentioned that a throttle controller can help in this case, but 1, I'm skeptical of that, and 2, even if that does work, you shouldn't need to buy an aftermarket accessory in order for the car to perform the way you want it to. Number 3, and this is a big one when you go onto the ownership groups of this car. The software really needs some refining. 1, it bings and bongs at you way too much. 2, this creepy little driver monitor here thing is overly intrusive if you don't put your phone in front of it to cover it up. The lane centering, which mostly works fine, doesn't deactivate when you put your indicator on. So if I want to merge into another lane, there are times when it will try and shove me back into the lane that I'm in, and like quite violently sometimes. That's a real problem. And look, you can change all the settings, which is great, just as many settings as you'd want to change. The problem is that every time you turn the car off and turn it back on, you have to reset all those things, which is really frustrating. Look, all these things are very real problems. I'm not trying to say that they're not. And if anyone from GWM is watching, you need to fix this stuff. But After a while of owning the car, you kind of stop thinking about it. You just work all these little quirks and annoyances into your habits, you know? You get used to it. It does detract from the ownership experience. How much is up to you. But as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't change what this car fundamentally is. And that is insane value and honestly a shitload of fun. Look, if you are looking to do serious long-term touring or overlanding, this probably isn't enough to facilitate the kinds of setups that people usually want in those situations, right? But if you're looking for something that you can take camping on long weekends or even get away for a week or two, this is more than enough car to take you just about anywhere that you want to go. Ultimately, this brings me back to what got me thinking about all of this in the first place. I reckon it's fair to say that we are living in incredibly turbulent times. The world is changing and markets are changing with it. And I reckon it's high time that something came along that showed these massive players like Toyota or Nissan, whoever you want to name, that their status, their legacy was built on providing incredible value at a price point that the average person could afford. And I'm sorry, but charging $100,000 for a baby Land Cruiser with a single locking diff in it shows that they have strayed from that vision. And look, that may not matter to you, but it matters to me because I look forward to a world in which serious competition means that the real winners in all of this are you and me, as it should be. And if this massive influx of Chinese vehicles into the international market shows anything, it shows that competition is really starting to heat up.
But for now, I love this car and I can't wait to see where it will take me next. And what the view is like from just on top of those hills over there. Thank you for your time.